Thank you.
The code violations, the grant coverage.
Start 5:33 or 5:34 p.m. Today's, I believe it's June 11th, is it?
June 12th.
June 12th, 2018. We are about to begin our regularly scheduled CRA meeting. This point of time, we'll stand up for, no, we'll do roll call first and followed by Pledge of Allegiance.
Board Member Galvin. Board Member Keys.
Here.
Board Member Desume.
Here.
Board Member Bien-Aimé. Chairman Joseph.
Here,
Chairman, you have a quorum.
thank you very much. We'll stand up for Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item is the approval of the minutes of May 8th, 2018. We need a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion made by Board Member Keys to approve the minutes from May 8th. That motion was seconded by Board Member Bien-Aimé. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 4-0.
Now we have the flag lady.
Yes. Good evening, Rasha Kamo, CRA Director. Agenda item number 1 is a rehabilitation grant request from Flag Lady, Inc. Please find attached in your package a grant request for Flag Lady, Inc. located at 13886 West Dixie Highway. Space is currently vacant, and they seek to rehab the interior and exterior of the building to attract viable and quality tenants. That's where the Fakij variety previously was. The pictures, the before and after pictures, are in the back of the application. The property is located at the southwest corner on a major West Dixie corner and is in need of modern facelift. The scope of work includes interior exterior paint, new flooring, light fixtures, impact windows and doors, security installation, and signage. Applicant has submitted 3 bids from licensed contractors. The lowest bidded contractor was at $277,065. There are no active violations on file on that property. The total project costs is at $277,065. Staff recommends approval of $100,000, which is the maximum for grant rehab under our guidelines. Staff supports this as this would greatly improve the aesthetics along the West Dixie corridor. Ms. Barbara Dabney is the property owner, and she's here if you have any additional questions. Also, I just want to mention the agenda item number 2 is also part of the property. She's doing, even though they're 2 separate properties, the rehab that she's doing is to make it look like a contiguous property. So if you look at the back of
Can we
the
do
application.
Can we do them one by one? or-
Yes, we will, but I just wanted to give you
Okay,
an overall
can we do
idea.
them both, Mr. Attorney?
it's 2 folios.
I would suggest you do them separately.
Separately, okay.
But when you look at the rehab, it's using both folios. That's going to look like one property. I
Okay.
just wanted you to see that. It's all the way in the back of the application on agenda item number 1, and you'll see one also on agenda number 2.
Is there, uh, is there something for the public to look at, or?
What page this picture?
It's
For
in the
the-
back of the application
for the
where the
public.
pictures are. You will see the close-up pictures of the property
In the
all the way in the
back?
back of agenda item number 1.
Number 2, actually.
1 and 2.
Oh, 1 and 2?
Yeah.
No, it's,
Barbara, I don't think anybody's working the camera in the back, so.
okay.
What do you want
Yeah,
me
they
to
can
do?
see it. You can see it. You can see it.
Yeah,
Can-
hold it so that anybody watching on TV at home can see what we're
There
talking
you
I'm
about.
not sure where.
Okay, that's
You can
perfect.
sit,
That's
just sit.
perfect right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, sorry.
And she's zooming on it.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay,
Okay?
Next question.
Sure.
I have a question. That's my
Keep it-
district,
keep it-
you know?
well,
This item you're reading, is that tab 1 or tab 2?
1, the first one I'm reading is tab 1.
That's all we're focusing on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. But that's not that build, okay,
This is
Okay.
what she wants to make it look like.
I see.
And right now we're talking about, right now it's the old Fakij variety corner, the
Mhm.
yellow building,
Yeah.
and you can see those pictures there as well.
It's two separate.
I have a question. Go ahead.
So are they
Yeah,
two different?
Are you finished, Mr. Yip?
Yes,
two
sir.
different
Yes.
Addresses, or?
Vice Mayor, is that,
Yeah.
is that
Yeah,
yours?
I'm just, is it one building that we're,
It is two separate parcels, two separate folios. They are together, if I can say it that way.
Yeah.
But they are, the flag business that she owns, which is the second application, has the awning, the green awning in front of it. It looks separate and different. And the property that she owns that she leases, which was the Fakij variety before,
Mm-hmm.
was the yellow building at the corner. What she's
Oh.
proposing to do is to rehab both her properties to make it look like one.
I'm confused.
But they're still going to remain two separate folios?
Yes.
Okay.
Two
Okay.
properties, two folios, and the one where the flag business is, which she operates, she still will be running it as a flag business.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So where Fat Kid used to be, that's the building we discussing now?
Right now,
Mm.
Okay, that's what, that's the confusion. Okay. And okay, so it's tab 1, but I
Yes,
see
sir.
the picture on tab 2. So that's why I assume it was tab 1. So that's, okay. This adjacent picture kind of,
oh, yeah,
yeah, so this one is tab 1.
yeah, which is the Fakij
Okay, it's in tab
variety.
2 as well, okay.
are we asking more questions? Are we gonna do public hearing, or? 'Cause
Mr. Mayor?
I have a question. Didn't the CRA already give money a few years ago for the Fakij property? Didn't we give them a grant?
No, we never did.
I don't have any records in our files that we had done that.
We didn't.
Okay.
I have a couple questions. The property you're talking about the blue one and the yellow one?
Right now, we're talking about the yellow one.
You're talking about the yellow one. But I understand you have the next one to it is the blue one, right?
In the middle is the one that's kind of with the green awning.
Awning.
It's
Yeah.
kind of beige with the green awning.
Which is
That's in the
outside.
middle. That's the
The outside is
freedom
empty?
flag.
That's the one who burned out and
No,
that you purchased?
No.
no.
Below that is the blue building, which was burnt out.
That's
That
when
is-
you're not gonna touch that one?
Not right now.
But how
But she
you
would
gonna-
be
Making my way
eligible
down.
for a rehab for that, because that's not a rehab. She would have to turn it into, which she plans on doing, she plans on turning it into a parking lot according to her plans. But she wouldn't be coming to us for a grant for that. That's not a rehab project.
Yeah, but how you gonna spend over 300,000 to rehab that property when you have that blue building, very ugly, you have the car wash, you have the parking lot in the back in very bad condition? It should be a package for me if I understand, because I know the area very well, it's in my district.
Well, I understand that. I mean, Ms. Dabney is applying for the two folios that I guess I can say she can afford
Why
to
not apply
rehab
for
right
all
now.
trees? Because it's
Well,
not
she
gonna
wouldn't be
make a
eligible
big
to apply
difference.
for the third one as it is. Right now, it's a burnt-out building. We don't do roofs, we don't do comprehensive, we don't build anew, fresh. And according to her plans, as per her architect, she intends to demolish it and turn it into a parking lot. But right now, okay.
Yeah, well, if you look at the entire property, it's basically an old strip mall dating back into the 50s. My intentions would be to make it very uniform, very modern, Miami modern, so to speak, where the corner would be a dynamic entrance, a signature property coming into the city where hopefully something nice, like a really nice restaurant or something like that, could rent that area. I would maintain my flag company, which is pretty discreet in the middle. And beyond that, where the blue building, the burned-out building now would be totally demolished and probably turned into a parking lot. If I could wave a magic wand, I'd like the city to take the parking lot that's behind us and turn that into a really nice parking lot. And then I could continue my strip mall down and have another little small building there, but that's only if I were Cinderella. But,
Which-
you know, I'm willing to take it down completely and just to turn it into my own parking lot if necessary.
And you also said none of the two buildings are in violation right now, does not have any violation on it?
According to code compliance, we checked for the violations. They said there were no violations on file. However, if those buildings had violations, the work that she's doing would have eliminated them. That is part of the grant guidelines. If the grant covers the violations to repair and fix the property, it would have covered it. But we get our report from the code compliance, and they had said that there were no violations on file.
Even the blue one,
The blue one is not
a part of this?
a part of this.
How much total they're asking for?
So the first agenda item, again, it's the total cost is $277. We're recommending $100,000, which is the max they can get under the grant rehab. So her balance would be $177,065.
Okay, before we get into any trouble, we have to open it to the public. Let's do a short public hearing. Well, not short, as long as we have people come and talk. The item is now open for the public, for questions, concerns. I see no one here, none. Public hearing is now closed. Back to the dais. Other comments, concerns, questions? Before we go for a vote?
Move approval?
Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Galvin to approve agenda number 1. That item was seconded by Board Member Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Item passes, item passes 4-1.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
She mentioned we have something in the back of that building. What is,
The parking lot behind it.
It's a
The
small
parking-
little,
where's the parking lot?
Behind it.
Right there.
Immediate-
Right behind it?
immediately west, it's like
Where the car wash,
best
I think,
10,
uses it.
yeah, it's a
Is
triangle,
it-
maybe
it's not
10
big?
spots.
It's big.
It's big?
No, it's
It's a
small.
good
Oh,
size.
small.
It's rented
good
to
size.
them.
Oh.
The cow is
Okay.
rented.
It's the car wash.
It's rented to,
Oh, they pay us? What do you mean it's rented? They pay?
it's rented.
From us?
That
Are they
Yeah.
paying us?
How much they pay?
Is it rented from us? What do you mean?
Okay.
They may very well be just using
I know
it.
there's a contract before. Is it rented to, did you rent back to the from the city?
Many years ago, then I know that it was rented to the car wash. I
Yeah.
needed to use it for parking. So at that point in time, I did negotiate a sublease with the
The
car
car
wash that was approved by the city so that I could use part of it.
Okay.
And then after that, I took over the blue building, the burnt-out building, and then I had some parking in there that I used temporarily until I can get everybody situated and off the West Dixie Highway part of it, where the parking is out front. And it's very dangerous to pull back out into
You
the
still hold a
street.
sublease from the car wash?
No, I don't, no. So I don't know. At that point in time, they didn't have, when their lease ran out, I was told that it was just going to be month to month.
But you don't know if they have paid.
At this point in time, I do not know.
All right, item number 2.
Item number 2. Please find a grant request from Fair Play Inc., located at 13870 West Dixie Highway. Fair Play Inc., doing business as Freedom Flag and Banner Company, is a retail and wholesale flag, banner, and flagpole facility. They provide retail and light assembly of flags and banners. They work locally, state, and nationwide. The building is located on a south end of the corner lot. I apologize. This property also needs a modern facelift. The grant request is to cover interior exterior paint, new flooring, light fixtures, impact windows, security installation, and signage. The lowest bidded amount is $135,885. No active violations on file. As per our grant guidelines, the rehab would be for 50% of the total amount, which comes up to $67,942.50. Staff recommends approval. Again, it is part of the rendering that Ms. Dabney had shown earlier. It is to make it look like one contiguous building.
Now, I know there was a bit of a confusion about which property we were talking at
Yeah.
any point of time.
This is,
The,
if you go in the
the
back.
item number 1 was Flag Lady with the address number 13870.
13886.
So we have it backward. We have it the other way here in our
So-
agenda.
I apologize for that.
That's what I
Okay.
kind of figured. That's what the confusion.
It didn't make any sense to me.
You should pay
apologize.
a little bit closer attention to those agendas before they get published.
Yes.
So what,
It's not that
So
one.
it's
She-
not, no, it's this
So-
one though.
so
The-
for the-
It's the yellow
for the
building with
record,
the green awning.
Can I make a
that's-
point? For the record,
Mhm.
agenda item number 1, which we just put it on, photo 1, the address should have been corrected to 13886.
6.
And the one we are voting on now should be 13870,
Okay.
West Dixie Highway, respectively.
So which picture is this? This one, Mr. Mayor?
No,
No.
that's next to
Charlie.
it.
It's okay.
It's in
So is this
demolition,
one?
that one.
Hmm?
That one is in demolition.
Okay, I don't even
So
know.
it's where it
We have
says
it backward here.
freedom flag and
Mhm.
banner.
Mhm.
It has a green awning in front of it. It's right next to the
So what
store
is
at
this,
Packages.
this property?
Which
Ah,
one?
no,
That's
the
adjacent
next
to-
one.
Adjacent. They're required to show us the area.
Oh, so that
Of-
building has two different, folio on it?
Yes, that's why
Just
they're
one
applying for
building.
2 grants.
Mr. CRA Director, did you have something you want to jump
It's right
in?
here.
No, for your clarification, I'm looking at the packet and what's online.
Mm.
It is the way you just read it online, so the way the public would have seen it is
Mhm.
correct.
Mhm.
I'm just,
The assembly.
the assembly is correct. I
Okay.
do not, I understand.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, now I got it. I think I do.
Okay. That's fine.
All right.
Questions?
Okay, now let's open the item for the public. Agenda item number 2. Address is 13870 West Dixie Highway. Is the one we are laboring on now. We are asking the public, anyone who wishes to be heard, to please come forward. See none, hear none. Public hearing is closed.
I'll move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Galvin to approve agenda item number 2. That motion was seconded by Board Member Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Hey,
Item passes 4-1.
May I go to agenda item number 3? Please find attached a rehabilitation grant request from 126 Dixie Inc., located at 12615 West Dixie Highway. 126 Dixie Inc. is a real estate investment, leasing, and retail property management company. They recently acquired the old Miami Way Theater. They are applying for this grant to do a complete exterior renovation of the property. They are in negotiations to bring in O Cinema with a long-term lease with a possible option to purchase. The building is located in a high-traffic area on West Dixie. The scope of work includes exterior paint, signage, light fixtures, impact windows, and landscaping. The lowest bidded amount was $267,375. There are no active violations on file. Again, as per our grant guidelines, the maximum they can apply for is $100,000 because it's a rehab. Staff recommends approval. The owner, Mr. Goldman, is not able to be here, but he has sent a representative in case you have any questions.
So is it one folio or 2 folios?
It is 2 folios, 2 properties, so I'm doing one at a time.
One at a time.
Is the one we're speaking of now the main building, the old movie theater?
Yes, the one with the signage, the marquee.
So what is the scope of the work? I mean, are they gonna keep the theater marquee and everything, or?
Yes, they are working on keeping the marquee as is, and they're rehabbing the exterior, and they're gonna do the roof themselves, because we don't cover complete roof renovations, so they're taking care of that themselves before they can get their tenants in. Like I said, they have a representative here if you'd like to ask them additional questions.
Who's the representative? What do they plan to do with the tire shop?
Kevin Burns, 2065 Alamanda Drive. The tire shop is owned by is a separate piece of property. the owners of the new the Miami Way Theater, it's actually 4 parcels of land. You have the old movie theater, you have a parking lot, then you have the old
business.
Watson's Restaurant, or the old small building that we're gonna address after this one, and then you have another parking lot on the corner. They're going to replace the roof, replace the electric service coming in. They're going to restore the marquee to a modern marquee. They're gonna keep it, that out there. They're going to replace impact glass, stucco, really upgrade the whole building. And working toward, we have multiple tenants looking to lease that property. One of the most encouraging one is O Cinema, that's located on Miami Beach and also in Wynwood. They have a large traffic count of people coming into the area, showing a variety of different kind of movies. That's just one of the entities that are out there. This movie theater, that stretch of Dixie Highway has been something that the city for many, many, many years has been looking for somebody to come along and do something with that property. This will be a catalyst for some of the redevelopment in that area. If you have any questions about the exterior, we can answer that.
Okay, at this point, we'll open it to the public for anyone who wishes to be heard. Public hearing is open on item 3. See one, hear none. Public hearing is now closed.
Can I ask a question? Mr. Burns, is O Cinema
He'll be
I guess the
potential
reduced,
tenant.
yeah, is that the reduced movie theater that they have in, no, it's just a regular?
No, it's a
Boutique.
artistic house type of movies
Okay.
that they show in Wynwood, very popular indie films,
Oh, okay.
old films, you know,
Got it.
cutting edge stuff, local
Independent,
independent
film, okay.
local filmmakers. There was a movie that last year won the Academy Award that was filmed in Miami,
Moonlight.
Moonlight.
Oh, really?
It was debuted, I understand, at their theater for their Miami launch. So it's those type of movies that they
Got it.
launch out.
I have a question. If you don't, or if the applicant doesn't get the contract with O Cinema, what are the plans? What is
There's other, by your own rules and regulations, I believe the tenant, I mean, the owners actually have about 120 or 160 days to get a active
180.
tenant inside that theater,
Yeah.
or they have to pay back the money
Oh,
into
okay.
that building. So they're actively, not just them, but they're trying to be selective of what goes in there. There's lots of requests, but not necessarily everything that the city would want. So they're being very cautious that whatever they put in there, whatever tenant they put in there, is going to enhance that part of the city, and it's going to be a benefit to the downtown redevelopment.
Another question. I hate to ask this. Have you
No.
registered?
Of
Yes, he
course,
has.
'Cause
Yes.
of course.
Well, I think that our clerk's site is not up to date, because I've talked to a few people, various people on various items who are not showing up as registered, so. And
Yes.
I know we spoke a few weeks ago, and you said you were going to, so I
Yeah,
just.
yep. Absolutely, and
Okay.
your city rules is actually for each client, you have to register.
Right.
And the CRA director and the Rasha, all made sure that I was registered.
Good.
Especially, it seems like when you're me, you want to make sure you want to do it. Thank you.
Is that an issue we need to check with the clerk? Or what, is it IT, Madam Deputy Clerk, can you
It
make
is with
sure
IT, because I set it up for IT to upload.
of the information?
Yes, I did.
Well,
Yeah.
Find out,
It's a
Mr.
question of time.
Manager.
He did it this afternoon, and she was here setting up. Yeah. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. He registered this afternoon, and she was
Oh,
here
this
prepping
afternoon.
for-
Oh,
for
okay.
this evening, so she was not here.
Okay, well, that's understandable. I
it's done.
thought this was an ongoing,
Yeah, no, it's
thing.
done.
Okay, thank you.
I guess, well, my recommendation would be for every meeting to make sure that the manager does some type of due diligence.
We do.
If we're gonna
We
have
do.
this type of presentation,
We
make
do.
sure that the,
We do.
oh, okay. Only one comment that I would have regarding the project is, the business are boarding that building, the tire shop that I just mentioned. I mean, it would be, very encouraging to see that it would be part of the,
We would, the current owners of this property, my clients, they own quite a bit of property in North Miami. And every piece of property that they've bought, they've restored and has made a major investment in North Miami. They would love to get the tire shop, but the tire shop is not for sale. And they're waiting for great things to happen in that part of the city. Then they may be willing to sell, but.
In other words,
yeah.
they're holding out for more money now that they see activity.
They're holding out. There's lots of people interested in that area. But unless people get in there and do work and actually create something, everybody's just waiting. So finally, these people are coming in, they're going to do something and maybe stir some redevelopment in that area.
All right. Need a motion?
I'm excitedly making the motion in favor. You can tell from the look on my
Second?
face.
So move. Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Galvin to approve agenda number 3. That motion was seconded by Board Member Desormeaux. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 5-0.
Agenda item number 4 is for the other parcel that Mr. Kevin Burns referenced. It's located at 12625 West Dixie Highway. Again, it's also owned by 126 Dixie Inc. They intend to renovate it with, again, exterior paint, light fixtures, impact windows, landscaping. They are taking care of the roof repairs, signage. They are also in negotiation with another similar cultural entity to take over that space with a long-term lease. Applicant has submitted 3 bids from licensed contractors. The lowest bidded amount was $146,740. As per our grant guidelines, it's a 50% match. So we are recommending approval of $73,370 for that particular parcel. We feel it's a great companion to the previous item. It'll enhance the West Dixie corridor and bring additional businesses and people to our community.
All right, public hearing is now open on item number 4, 12625 West Dixie Highway. I see no one, hear none. Public hearing is now closed.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Galvin to approve item number 4. That motion was seconded by Chairman Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 5-0.
Thank you. Agenda item number 5 is a beautification enhancement grant request from Arterial LLC located at 799 Northeast 125th Street, which is literally across the street from us. That's where Stripes, the furniture store, is located. They are requesting a grant to do some exterior paint, light fixtures, awning replacement, pressure cleaning of existing exterior tile, asphalt repavement, and parking lot restriping. They have submitted 5 bids from licensed contractors, and the total of the lowest bidded amount was $22,579.37. Staff recommends approval of the $22,579.37. The grant request will greatly improve the aesthetics of our downtown corridor that we are trying to enhance. There are 2 representatives here from Arterial LLC if you have any questions.
Let me ask you a question, Rasha.
Yes, sir.
When the grant is below 25,000 or something less, do we still have the requirement that they have to match it?
No,
Okay.
the beautification enhancement grant.
Oh, this is
up to-
beautification.
And enhancement, but
okay.
it's up to 25,000
Got it,
with
okay.
no match requirement.
Never mind, thank you.
Get have any picture?
Picture? He's looking for a picture?
Where's it? I just got it.
Pictures are in the
Yeah,
back.
It's
there
at
is
the
in the back.
corner, it's right across the street from us. It's the green building at the corner of
Is
125th and
Is that a
8th
second
Avenue.
floor to it?
Yes, that's
Oh,
the
okay.
second floor.
That's the second floor?
Hello, yes.
Okay.
My name is Sophia. I'm in a representation of Arterial, 799 Northeast 125th Street. It is a 2-story building.
All right, thank you very much.
Move approval.
Public
Oh,
hearing.
sorry.
Public hearing is now open on the item. Agenda number 5, public hearing is open. See none, hear none. Public hearing is now closed.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Galvin to approve item number 5. That motion was seconded by Board Member Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 6.
Item number 6 is a grant rehabilitation request from Comprehensive Health Center LLC, GRM Property Management LLC. This grant request is for the property located at, I apologize, 650 Northwest 120th Street. Dr. Rudy Moise is the owner and manager of CHC Comprehensive Health Center. He has acquired several properties behind his existing clinic, which is located at 671 Northwest 119th Street. He is in the phase of expanding his services to make it a full-service medical facility for the area, which is lacking a full-service medical primary care facility. He had originally made a request for $1.2 million, and the CRA counter offered and proposed a grant of $605,770,000, which amounts to 20% of the total cost of the project for phase 1 of this project. The estimated cost is $3,023,081. Staff and CRA attorney have reviewed the request and made the following recommendations. If the board approves this grant, it must do so with the following caveats. Board would need to waive the grant guidelines to exceed the maximum grant amount of $100,000. Dr. Moise has resigned from the advisory committee as of February 25th, as this is a direct benefit to him, which is prohibited by Miami-Dade County Ethics Code. CHT has proffered to make available 5 to 8 mid-level jobs to North Miami residents. If upon extensive search, CHC is not able to fill these positions with North Miami residents, applicant can make the positions available for non-city residents. These positions will include managers, medical assistants, case managers, nurses, medical code specialists. If approved, this grant will be dispersed in 2 installments, 50% during this fiscal year and the balance in the fiscal year 18-19 once the CRA budget is approved by the CRA city and county, and this item is listed as an approved expense. This item was presented to the advisory committee in February, and it was approved and at the full recommendation of $1,211,540 with a 3-payment setup. And as I said, however, the CRA counter proposed a $605,707 grant amount and to do it in 2 payments. Dr. Moise is here if you have any questions, and I think he has something he would like to show.
Good afternoon. I just have a rendering of what the facility looks like now and what it look like after it's completed.
For the record, just to give your address.
Your name and address.
Sure, I'm sorry. And Dr. Woodruff Moise, 671 Northwest 119th Street, North Miami. This is the current location, is a warehouse. And this is the rendering that the for the new Chinatown.
Oh, okay.
Chinatown. This is not facility. So just to show you that with such a beautiful facility coming in, so we don't want to leave it as it is. So this is what the facility looks like after it's completed. This is the outside. This is the inside with 2 stories. And this is the reception area. And this is the 2nd floor. So we've been, and we have just a much larger picture so you can see. I don't know if you guys can. So this is what it looks like, basically, the facility. Just a little background. Comprehensive has been in the city of North Miami now for the past, 32 years. When I first had the idea of opening up the office, everybody was kind of discouraging me. Why North Miami? But I had a vision that North Miami would be a great city, which it is, and yet paid off. My practice grew and grew and grew to the point now I have to expand to accommodate the load of patients that we have, and to offer a full-serving primary care facility that really do not exist in the city of North Miami.
All right. I will open it now to the public. If there is anyone who wants to be heard, have any questions for Dr. Moise? Public hearing is now closed. And if there is anyone on the dais with any questions, please let's do so now.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead. You want to go?
Okay. Dr. Moise, I love you. Your commitment to this community is far and beyond most people, and it's only because of my great respect for you and for the work that you've done in this community that I'm not hitting the roof a lot harder on this. But I've got questions for staff related to the dollar amount and related to the timing of it all. Rasha, who put this on the agenda tonight?
I did.
Okay, Mr. Spring, why are you recommending that we go 6 times higher than is normally allowed?
What I would submit to you, Board Member Galvin, is when you look back at the history of some of the other grants that we've done in the city, some of them have been in excess of that threshold, if you will.
Sure, no, and I think just in discussion's sake, it's fair to say that we've given 250,000 or so to Pollo Tropical and some others. I'm not familiar with anything that's gone above 300,000 off the top of my head.
Well, Alaska Coffee, what was that?
199.
199. So
199, right?
So
We did 400,000, the Gators, the 2 building and 1
right. So I mean,
7 Avenue.
So
But
I'm incorrect then, we have gone above 300,000.
the
Put for the
Cafe
Gators.
Creme,
Cafe Creme,
Cafe Creme.
we'll give them
Cafe Creme,
about that much.
370,
No,
Huh?
320.
320 for Cafe Creme.
Okay.
No, no, it was 145.
Mocha was 145.
Okay.
They
so,
get to it.
so we
why 600,000? That's still twice as much
much.
as we've given anybody else.
well I don't know if you got a chance to see my discussion at the advisory board meeting. What I submitted to as I don't want to call it evidence, but I guess support of the grant is to say what Dr. Moise is doing from a CRA perspective when you're addressing all of the issues of slum and blight. He's come to the city. He's doing a very substantial expansion of his medical practice. When you look at what are all the categories of some slum and blight that are in the statute, underserved, medically underserved areas, the job creation issue, and then the economic development period of a business or an expanding business within the CRA boundary. What I put on the record that day, and I still do believe, he is hitting several of those things. One, he is providing expanded medical services in a medically underserved area of our city, and I would say they're even in the region of the county. Two, the jobs that he's creating are well-paying jobs. If you look at those categories, my time at Jackson, case managers, billing specialists, coding specialists, and nurses are not $10, $12 an hour jobs. You're talking $20, $30 an hour, some more. So, and to make the commitment to specifically hire North Miami residents, if we find them, and I think we can do that. And then just the issue of this is a business that has been around in our community already, serving this community for 32 years. I would tell you, he's built up a level of goodwill, if you will, in the community to say. Now, we had a request for $1.2 million, and that was what was presented to the advisory board committee. They approved it, but I know we got a lot of feedback after the fact where people were concerned about the dollar amount, so on and so forth.
So,
And so as a result, we went back and had a negotiation, if you will, with Dr. Moise to say, that amount right now is just not palatable, or at least that's what we're seeing. Can we come back and compromise? And then you see we still are separating it into 2 fiscal years to not have such a dollar impact on the budget or the cash flow, if you will, of the CRA. So that is kind of what I would submit to you.
the 300,000 that you're asking for this fiscal year is offset by 300,000 next fiscal year, is that correct?
It'll be then an additional.
At the time the CRA advisory board voted on this matter, was Dr. Moise still an official member of them?
I don't
No.
think so.
No, he
No.
had already resigned.
He was not. We insured, and my office provided a legal opinion in the first place as to the fact that he did need to resign.
Before.
And that was done prior to any consideration or submission of the application for the grant.
So the CRA Advisory Committee is recommending this to us without Dr. Moise having been a sitting member
That is
That
correct.
is correct.
and in full knowledge that this is a request for 300,000 in 2 separate years.
Well, no, they actually approved the 1.2 million
With 3
over
payouts.
3 fiscal years, so approximately 400,000 a year.
I'd feel more comfortable if they had a recommendation based on what we're actually hearing tonight. Those are all my questions.
I have a question. Not a question. How much is the project?
How much?
The project.
$3 million.
Okay. And I understand we see the $600,000, but you're asking for 20% of the $3 million, right?
That's correct.
And from what we understand, we never receive any project of that amount in the city. Yeah. We never
Nothing of this
approve
size,
any
no.
grant, any project for $3 million
No.
cost.
Not yet.
I think, okay. That's all my question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Manager, I had asked you a few weeks ago, what was the available amount in the 2018 year for the CRA for giving grants to businesses? I had asked that, and then also what was left.
Yeah, there's an amendment for this. At the end of the year. Million,
$1 million.
So we had $1 million to give out this year
yes.
in grants. And what do we have left?
After this.
And we
After this, we will be done for the year.
Okay, so we just gave 364,000 this evening already.
Yes.
And how much do we have left? We have exactly 300,000 left?
No, you have to do budget amendment for the different.
Oh,
For
for
this.
this one? So what, the plan was to do a budget amendment to, it was what, 300,000 to accommodate for this final grant. A
So-
budget amendment from projects that are not, I mean, they're out there, they
Capital
are
projects.
allocated to projects, but they're not moving right now. We don't anticipate any expenditure in the current fiscal year. So we were going to just do a budget amendment to accommodate for this, if approved.
Dr. Moyes, I highly respect you and your business, but I have a different view of the CRA. And my view of the CRA is we are supposed to be bringing businesses, attracting businesses, helping the little guy get their businesses, eliminating slum and blight. Like, we just gave $364,000 to 3 businesses that will be fixing up greatly Dixie Highway, which sorely needs it. I'm sure we'll get more than 5 or 6 jobs. And additionally, I've been getting calls for weeks now from constituents from all sides of the town. And they're just not happy with us, not happy with our spending the money. And, I'd be willing to go 300,000, ideally over a couple years, spread it out. But, there's still businesses out there wanting to come, and now they're being told, well, you have to wait till October. We don't have money to give to the small guys. And, that's where I'm at. I want to bring in restaurants, I want to bring in little businesses. I want to be able to say, hey, we've got money. And I've talked to people. I know there's other people who really want grants, and they're just like at a standstill. So 300 for 2 years each year just kind of breaks us for helping the little guy. So 300 over 2 years would be fine, and that would leave us a little bit for the rest of the year for some small grants, new businesses, cleaning up. We have a lot of other grants.
Can I
No,
say something?
hold on a second. Yeah, go
We
ahead.
just spent over $300,000 on a small project, and now you have a $3 million project. You don't want to spend 20% on rehabilitation.
There was 3
Right.
projects. They were all within the guidelines.
Yeah, but that's not going to bring anything good for the area.
All right, did you want to say anything?
I've been patiently waiting. Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rasha, I have a couple of questions for you because I'm a little confused. I think I got it, but I just wanted to be clear because I know Board Member Galvin X say something was stated about 300,000 and then 600. So what is the request? Because as you was reading, I was trying to write notes.
We are, he has accepted our counter offer of 605,770, and we would split it in 2 fiscal years.
Okay.
So we would
Got
do
it.
300, okay.
But my
That's
other,
what it is?
yeah.
Hmm?
So
2
that's what
fiscal
Carol
years.
said, right?
No, but she
You-
said
Oh,
300,000
period.
total.
Oh, okay, okay.
Split in
Got
2
it.
years.
Next question.
Yes.
You stated the part that you was reading regarding the jobs.
Mhm.
You said if they can't find them in North Miami, then they go
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Yes.
I don't think that's a guarantee. So how do we? I don't mind supporting, but we have to have a little bit more.
Well, he will
For
be,
me-
Dr. Moise, as all grantees who get a higher amount, they have to work with us and provide us with reports and show that they're hiring and looking for people. But some of these are somewhat specialized. Like, if you can find nurses, yes. At one point, I think he had even proffered a doctor. And I'm like, that's a little bit, hard to find, a North Miami resident that you need that's a doctor. But these positions, he's going to go out and we're going to help him find people to apply for these positions. Now, if he cannot, then.
Well, no, that's the problem. That
Yeah.
cannot. Okay, the way I would feel comfortable if somewhere in the language there is something that at least we get some type of guarantee. The city doing it, I don't even trust that much. That we are at least getting some. Did you make that? I guess you would say the Polo Tropical because of the type of jobs. It's a little bit different.
Low,
But okay, so
yeah.
we need to
It
do
was like
whatever that we need to do. Either work with him and do the training of our people, but it has to be a guarantee
Okay.
in the requirement that they have to be North Miami resident. Not if
Okay.
they can't find it, or staff can't find it, then it's okay. So those are my 2 main questions.
All right. Within the motion?
Is that an amendment?
I would like for that to be an amendment.
But
For the amendment.
listen,
Um,
you're talking about a high-level medical clinic.
Councilman,
That's when you cannot tell him he need to go in North Miami.
then what's the, okay.
North Miami gonna have the first choice, but if you cannot find the expert, what you gonna do?
Oh, can I answer that for you?
Yes.
What staff needs to do, because she said that she guaranteed that the city will work with them. If he provide, then we could have either a training in just like Solomia. There's certain things that they could work with the doctor to ensure that at least whoever that he wants to hire gets the proper training, that they are residents, whatever that might that be.
We're not talking about training. We're talking about life.
I
They're looking
understand.
for 3 physical therapists in North Miami. They can't find it.
Okay,
We
then
need
what
to
we.
not just say.
No, then what you do,
They're
Councilman,
looking for it.
in order for you to create jobs, then the city would either recruit those and send folks to school, whatever that needs to happen. There are certain things I feel that we could do that at least could guarantee that we get these type of jobs. For example, if the doctor said these are the jobs that I'll need now, and these are the folks, just like I have with Solomia, we could start getting folks who are those type of skills, ready in order to. I don't think that's something that's impossible. Is it
Well,
Doctor?
6 years.
If you
The councilman. I understand that.
if you don't mind, Dr. Moise, I do have some experience in healthcare
Yes.
healthcare industry. Based on the listing of positions that are here, I'm fairly confident that we can identify
I think
North
so too.
Miami residents. What I would tell you, because I completely understand your point. If you guys want to modify and say we need to find them, period, then I'm willing to take on that.
But
Here's the thing.
what is the language? What does the language say
Yeah.
for the record?
It just said,
CHC has proffered to make available 5 to 8 mid-level jobs to North Miami residents. If upon extensive search, CHC is not able to fill these positions with North Miami residents, applicant can make the positions available for North Miami residents,
For
non-city
non-city.
residents.
For non-
Non-city.
What
Non-city
more do
residents.
we need? I mean, I mean, it clearly delineates, what we are, talking about. Isn't that what you're asking for?
No.
They would open it to not
Yeah,
mining
and if they don't
residents
have it,
first.
then they could go.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to fight for jobs, Mr. Mayor. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, and the doctor would understand, we are one of the highest unemployment in this county. What I'm trying to do here, and I don't mind, I don't have an issue yet. What I'm trying to do is where staff or would work with the doctor to ensure that at least we could say our residents get something. That's all. And which we guaranteed, but by the way, it's not Dr. Mays, it's anybody who comes here who, this is one of the main requirement. But when she was reading it, when she said that, I understand it's a high level, whatever the
So,
case is.
Councilman, if the Dr. Muniz is comfortable, I mean, we've listed specialized positions, but there are other
Yeah.
positions at the clinic that are not
Absolutely.
as specialized that he
Whatever
can
the
make
case is.
available
Absolutely.
to
And
the city.
Let me ask the doctor
residents, so.
something. I don't think that's a big request, Dr. Moise. Based on, at least we'll know that there's 8 positions. And I would even say you have your, what they call it, it could be your cleaning. I'm not telling him he has to hire doctors or whatever, but I need something in there that guarantee your cleaning folks, your receptionists, or whatever the folks is that's in there are residents
Specialized.
or something.
And I understand, job creation is obviously one of the top priority. For entry-level position, talking about receptionists, this is easy. But we're talking about coders, nurses, case managers. Those require a lot of training. I mean, to send a nurse to school, I cannot say, okay, I'm opening in January, but I'm sending you to school for nursing. And also, there's an experience. I mean, you're dealing with people's life. Okay, I want to be able to have somebody who have some, not only went to school, some training, but also have some experience to take care of the patients.
Okay, so let's change that to entry level.
Yeah.
Ms. Rasha, are you with her?
Only entry level or as the second?
Well, based on what he said right now, I would feel more comfortable with entry level.
Yeah, but do we
Can I say
understand
something? Can I say-
that we would have to make that mandate
For
for every
everybody.
company
do.
who
We
actually
do.
comes here?
Just give away
Yeah, but we
300.
didn't
Wait
already
a minute.
mandate that for
We
But
do.
maybe
We have
only
to
those
do
that
it
are
for-
asking twice as much as we've
Yeah.
given anybody else at 600,000.
But wait a
What
minute.
they're asking is a significant contribution, then maybe
y-
the
let me
ask
ask
is a
this.
little more serious.
Wait a minute. Don't we make that? Isn't everybody who comes here, from my understanding, from Alaska to those folks, everybody are required to get residence from?
No, the application for anything above what's in the grant guidelines, yes, we do ask them, they have to hire North
Okay,
Miami
that's
residents.
not, I'm not
and-
doing
and
nothing
things
out
like
of the
that.
norm.
That's already in the.
No, I know, but what we were doing is we're looking for higher level than
No,
entry
because
level.
that doesn't
Okay.
guarantee
All right.
nothing at this point. Because if he doesn't have 8, then
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Need a motion?
I move approval.
Second, with the amendment.
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify for the record, with the motion and the second, that includes the waiver of the grant guidelines to exceed the maximum grant of $100,000, correct? This also includes the disbursement in 2 installments, this fiscal year and next fiscal year, 50% each, and then the change from the jobs from being mid-level jobs to entry-level
Entry-level.
jobs, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, guaranteed
Okay,
to,
just
for
wanna make
North
sure
Miami
everyone
residents.
understands what they're voting on.
All right. That-
Within what period of time? Can be forever.
Usually for
The-
5
the job.
years. It's usually
It's typically the 5-year
Five-year.
period.
For the end. Oh, okay. You got it, Doc?
Yes, sir.
And they provide certifications. I think
They
it's
roll
every 6 months, there's a certification
Okay.
provided.
And we do that with everybody. Oh, okay.
Everybody who has a job creation requirement.
All right.
I have a motion made by Board Member Bien-Aimé to approve agenda item number 6 with the amendments as stated on record. That motion was seconded by Board Member Desormeaux. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Item passes 3-2.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, thank you.
Item number 7.
A resolution of the chair and board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency approving the recommendation of award of invitation for bid IFB number 33-17-18 Museum of Contemporary Art, Mocha Plaza renovation project to PE Services LLC, authorizing the CRA Executive Director and CRA Attorney to negotiate and finalize an agreement with PE Services LLC as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for a contract amount not to exceed $856,820, authorizing the chairman and CRA Executive Director to execute the agreement, authorizing the CRA Executive Director to take all action necessary to implement the terms of the agreement and providing an effective date.
Right.
Staff.
Good evening, board members. Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you is staff's recommendation for you to award a bid to the company PE Services LLC in response to a solicitation that was issued by our office for the Mocha Plaza renovation project. The number of the solicitation is IFB 331718. In response to this solicitation, the city received 13 bids, and the numbers of the bids are included there in the staff's report for your review. This is a project which, if you'll recall, has been previously submitted to the CRA board for your review of the proposed design and proposed improvements for this area. It was submitted by the project manager on behalf of the city, Mr. Jeff Geimer, who's here with me this evening, as well as the project architect, Leo A. Daly. Following our review and evaluation of the bids that were submitted, the lowest and responsive bid for this project was the bid submitted by PE Services LLC for a total of $856,820. The anticipated duration for this project is 120 days, which is approximately 4 months from issuance of notice to proceed. And if you have any questions, I'm sure I'll be glad to take them, and also Mr. Guyman is here to answer your questions.
All right, before we ask any question, let's quickly open it to the public. See if anyone in the public wants to be heard on the item. Item number 7. See none, hear none, public hearing is now closed.
I have a question. So, we were complaining we just gave $600,000 away. This is $800,000 for, where's the picture?
If you,
No, but
No, no,
our-
this is
our project.
this is one of our this is not, this is, you actually approved,
No, I remember seeing the picture couple, the design. It would be nice to, I wasn't too impressed with it, to refresh our memory. You know, 800,000 just to, I guess it's the I forgot what we were gonna do, because I did remember seeing the design.
So the plaza in the front, we're gonna change the burgundy cobblestones to two-tone gray, slate, and then we have the lighting
And then the back?
features. The mocha, all the way by in front of the police department, and we're gonna add additional trees, and we have a whole lighting, LED lighting that changes colors.
And then
and
there was something about the back.
so there's a separate, there will be a separate.
It's not part of this?
No, it's not part of this. There's a separate solicitation, and you saw a design for the interior, the Paradise Courtyard.
Okay.
So that's a separate project. This was the project that Leo Daly did the design. They did the presentation some months ago at this point, where we were doing as Rasha stated, the two color stones that would go from the entrance of the museum actually all the way to a budding Cafe Creme, all the way up to the building, and then all the way down the sidewalk towards the police station and under the breezeway as well. New lighting, there'll be some tree, the trees will be moved, the palms will be moved to accommodate for sighting of the showmobiles, for different, event setups in the plaza.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
You have more questions?
No, I was just gonna make
Vice-
one
Vice
simple
Mayor?
comment, and she could go. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Why are we 156,000 above what our bid was?
Yes, you're correct. The estimated cost for the project was $700,000. But as you can see, we received actually 13 different bids. Actually, it's actually more than is typically submitted for these type of projects. And that really shows a very competitive pricing by contractors. And really, at least to us, for staff, sends us a certain level of comfort that this number is the most competitive number that you're going to receive.
All right.
Are we gonna be able to recycle the pavers for other areas?
I have to ask Mr. Guyver.
It's a lot of pavers.
Yeah.
Good evening, Jeff Geimer, Capital Project Manager for the city. The pavers that are currently in question is one of the main reasons for the project because we have a lot of issues with gaps in between the pavers. So the plan is not to recycle those pavers.
Okay. And as far as our budget, have we already put this whole rehab of the plaza in our budget? Is that part of it?
Yes, yes.
How much do we budget for?
It was 650.
650 previously.
So now we're 200 over budget.
Right. And keep in mind, this is the second, we put this bid out twice.
It's
We
taken a
got
long
the-
time.
Well, that's why, the time factor wasn't because it just took a long time. When we got the first set of bids back in, we had the reaction that I think you guys are having now, like, well, the budget for this was X, what's going on? So we went back to the design company, hey, take a look at some of the elements that you put in. Are the lighting, features too expensive? You know, we kind of took a real hard look at that and then put it back out, and this is kind of where the market is. We still have an opportunity, this is where the bid is. We still have to negotiate, so we can do some more wrangling down on the price as much as we can. If you guys want us to do some further value engineering of the project, but I don't want us to lose the character
No, I'd like to get
of
moving
what
on
you.
this.
We do too, because
So we've got budgeted 650 for the rehab. Do we have additional monies budgeted for the Paradise Plaza?
yes, we do.
So
Yes, we
that's an addition.
Yes.
So will all of this get done within this fiscal year, or is it gonna?
No, it will not be done within the fiscal year. Our goal, and I don't know, it's a very hefty goal.
It better be done.
We're trying to get all of this done before.
Because we were supposed to
before
complete
Basel.
this project before last
we were.
Art Basel.
Right.
That
Yeah,
was the
this-
plan.
This is crazy.
And
So,
Art Basel is coming, so you can't say, well, our fiscal year ends what, September?
September.
30th.
So at least by the beginning of Art Basel.
Well, that's November, so
So-
the end of November, so.
Matter of
yes,
fact, I
we're-
can't vote for it if the company can't promise to finish it before Art Basel, I will not vote for it.
well, is the company here to say?
I can speak to that. The proposed timeline for the project is 120 days. So if we start, by the end of the month, which is our goal, we should be done by the end of October.
So before Art Basel.
And that gives us,
Basil is
30
in-
day.
that gives us a 3-week cushion.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
So
well,
we can't, so can we use part of the budget for next year? Can we straddle the years and have 250 for next year? Or are we gonna have to amend our budget?
Well, when you approve, we'll work out the logistics, but
Okay.
probably from a cash flow standpoint, yes. It'll, because of the timing of payments.
Okay.
So I think we'll be fine.
I have a question. I thought in the plan you was gonna include the parking lot in front of the police, like we paving.
No,
we do
we're
the street.
paving all the way down to the station. So,
No, I'm talking
yeah.
about the parking lot.
No. The only parking we looked at was and I think Councilwoman Keys asked us to do this. You wanted to expand that curve that comes out of Cafe Creme where you go into the memorial for the police. A little,
A little expansion?
yeah, so to see if we can get it out. But the way the drainage is on the street and where the curb cut is, we couldn't it would be too cost prohibitive
So
to
we're
have
not
done it.
doing that.
So we're not doing
Is
that.
there a possibility that in the upcoming budget you add the repaving of that?
To take a look at it, we can look at a design.
Because if you're gonna have a nice
Well,
plaza
remember, it's
and-
gonna be nice all the way down to the police
Yeah,
station
but what about the
with.
parking lot is ugly.
Well, we'll look at the parking lot as a separate project. How about that? Because we're supposed to be doing parking anyway, enhancements anyways. So,
Move approval.
One second.
No, I just want to go on the record, just say that although this is ours, I don't see the job creation. Almost $1 million for some renovation is a little bit too much. I just want to put that on the record. Thank you.
Do I have a second?
Huh? Well, I'll second it with the commitment to finish it by the end of November.
he just said that. He said October.
Oh, October? Fair enough.
I have a motion made by Board Member Keys to approve agenda number 7. That motion was seconded by Chairman Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Item passes 3-2.
Aye.
A resolution of the chair and board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency authorizing the CRA Executive Director and the CRA Attorney to negotiate and finalize an agreement with ACOM to provide high-definition laser scanning surveying services for the Northeast 125th Street corridor for a contract amount not to exceed $40,825, authorizing the chairman and CRA Executive Director to execute the agreement, authorizing the CRA Executive Director to take all action necessary to implement the terms of the agreement and providing an effective date.
Good evening once again, board members. The item that you have before you is staff's recommendation to enter into an agreement with the professional consulting firm AACOM to provide high-definition 3D laser scanning services for the Northeast 125th Street corridor. Specifically, the work that will be, or the area rather, that will be covered, and this is reflected in the report that accompanies and supports this item, is high-definition 3D laser scanning, modeling, and mapping for Northeast 125th Street and the alley north of and parallel with 125th Street between West Dixie Highway, Northeast 6th Avenue, and Northeast 10th Avenue. That's one task of this proposed item. The second task includes for design, visualization, conceptual rendering. And those are the two tasks that are included. The timeframes to complete the project, once again, is included in the second page of staff's report. For task A is an anticipated 7 weeks, and for task C is an anticipated 5 weeks from notice to proceed. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to take them.
I'd like, through the chair, like to add on to this item. What this is from our perspective, the staff's perspective, and why we're recommending this, we want to create this visual tool that will be made available to the public so they can actually see what we're trying to accomplish in the moving of the downtown master plan. We can, the way the scan is done with drones and the visual scanner, so we can actually see above and between buildings, alleyways, and give an actual, some I guess, depth perception of what heights and depths look like on 125th, what they would look like adjacent to some of the some of the other the residential areas that abut our downtown area. And I thought it was particularly important, given some of the more recent conversations we've been having with the board about height and density and impact to the neighborhoods as we move forward with developing our master plan. You know, the garages and some of the projects that are starting to come into the city, particularly like the redo of the Chase building and the potential redevelopment of our adjacent block where the city owns the surface lot. So with that, I just ask for your full recommendation.
Any comment from the public? Public hearing is now open on the item. See what none, hear none. Public hearing is closed. Item 8.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Galvin to approve item number 8. That motion was seconded by by Chairman Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. City Attorney, do you have anything to report to us? No report. CRA Director?
One point I want to make in relation to Board Member Desame's comment. In the interlocal board member, there is a requirement now that we do have a community benefits agreement when we're doing projects in excess. I believe it's 250,000. So we could, start adding that as so we can address the job creation issue you just brought up.
Oh, we haven't?
Yeah, it's in the interlocal.
No, I
already.
know, but I thought we had that since.
Okay,
I
but right
did,
now,
I
we,
remember.
the way it reads in our procurement code, it was for projects that are funded
250.
from it's still 250, but funded
the
from a
general.
general fund source.
Oh, it needs to be
But,
expanded.
no, but in our interlocal with the county,
Oh, good.
it does also require us to do the same.
Okay.
So I just wanted to put that on the record.
Motion to adjourn?
There was another report that was on the agenda.
Oh, we have
There's a
something
CRA
else?
Director's report.
CRA Police Officer Quarterly Report?
The police officer's report, I'm sorry.
We usually do that at the beginning. What happened? What happened, Paige?
Nothing. I just come when you call.
You didn't say good morning to someone this morning?
I guess so. I guess maybe splash some water when I went past them in the car. Good evening, Robert Page, Assistant Chief, City of North Miami Police Department. I was told I may or may not have the chance to get up and speak, so I'll speak very quick and very fast so you can get to your next meeting. This is the quarterly report from January through March 31st. During that period for the downtown area, which is 6th Ave to 10th Ave, 124th Street to 126th Street, we made 691 business contacts, answered 11 calls for service, and made contact with 1,132 visitors to the downtown area, and made 238 trips to City Hall. Some of the highlights: we conducted Segway Patrol, we participated in the Mad About Nomi event, Jazz at the Mocha, and other Mocha events. We responded to an attempted suicide and were able to talk the person down and get them proper medical assistance. They made 2 DUI arrests on 125th Street and settled several disputes between businesses and patrons. The quick crime report: there are 4 vehicle thefts or theft of vehicle parts, which were all decals. One thing in the city, we've noticed a lot of decals getting stolen, so if you slash your decals and get the screws that lock in place, it'll prevent the decal and tag thefts. There are 3 shoplifting, 1 stolen car, 1 vehicle burglary, and 1 theft. There are 18 Part 1 crimes reported last year, compared to the only 13 Part 1 crimes for this quarter this year. For the Northwest section, for the same time period, we made 295 business contacts, answered 4 calls for service, and made contact with 662 visitors to the Northwest area. The Northwest area goes from 10th Ave to Northwest 6th Court, where the doctor's office is, from 119th Street up to 125th Street. Some of the highlights there: we continue to work with CVS and AutoZone for quality of life issues. AutoZone has an issue with mechanics doing mechanic work in the parking lot of Northwest 7th Avenue, which we focused on. We've issued several trespass warnings, recovered stolen cars, issued disabled parking violations, and monitored the alleyways to ensure they remain clear. There are 28 Part 1 crimes reported in the area, with the largest part is thefts at the ShopRite Plaza, which is on the corner of Northwest 7th Ave and 119th Street. 8 of the 10 thefts occurred in that plaza, and we continue to work with CVS, AutoZone, and the Dollar Store to try and tackle that issue. The other area of concern was the post office. The majority of vehicle burglaries which occurred, there are 8 vehicle burglaries in the corridor. The majority of them occurred at the post office with people leaving purses or items on their seats. So we try to educate the people going into the post office and work with the postal police to combat that. The other 2 projects we have working is the North Miami Connect project, which we came here last meeting and we highlighted it to the members here of the board. We have the first business, Tommy Shoes, which are on. We've worked out all the IT issues. Tommy Shoes is up and running, so we can tie into their 2 security cameras at any time we wish. And we're now working to bring other businesses into the North Miami Connect program. And that's
Thank
it.
you.
There's also a report on the June 14th item.
There is a TOD workshop on June 14th at 6
A
o'clock.
what
This is the
workshop?
last. A transportation,
Oh,
the mobility hub.
oh, okay.
I apologize for my abbreviation. This is the third and final workshop. It's in the council chambers at 6 o'clock. The mobility hub, with the
The
IBI
TOD
group,
study for the,
major
train
corridors and the train.
and the train stop at 123rd
That's on
Street.
Wednesday,
Thursday, the
Thursday.
14th, at
Mi-
6 o'clock
and you
in
announced
council.
that today,
No, it's been
It's
advertised.
advertised. We're just reminding
Didn't
you.
you?
advertise where?
On the city's Facebook page, the city's, I guess, June events. The PIO department has been,
All right.
advertising.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, through you to Ms. Como. Rasha, why was this scheduled the same night as a MOCA event?
We did not have, I guess it's a scheduling conflict, but when we checked with the city calendar, it didn't have
Mocha on there?
MOCA there, so we
Okay, so
reserved.
I hope you're sticking around for the city council meeting. I'll be addressing just this kind of thing in the city council agenda. We have way too many city events going on concurrently at taxpayer expense. I strongly encourage you, next time, please, check the calendar, and something's got to give. We can't expect our citizens to be at 4 corners of the city on the same night.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
So move. Second.
All right. We will reconvene in 15 minutes at 7 p.m. for our regularly scheduled council meeting.